Hello everybody, welcome back to the Final Fantasy Tactics walkthrough. This is the last video. So we are obviously back here at the, what is this? The Graveyard of Airships, I believe. Now, in the previous battle there, we actually did get the Ragnarok. Now, I'm not going to end up equipping that. I like my combo of the Chaos Blade and the Excalibur. That's not to say that the Ragnarok isn't a good weapon. It's just I like other ones more. But anyways, almost the same setup here as far as kind of where your characters start out. There's a little tweak, I guess, in the actual like start tiles. Not that it's all that impressive or important, but all right. So here we are, Graveyard of Airships. Now, I'm actually going to. I don't know. I'm going to learn Ultima with Alma. The only really reason for that was I actually read that it was possible. And, I mean, it doesn't matter, though. There's really no reason for it. Especially being that my characters are so overpowered at this point. You know, and it's kind of neat, I guess. It's more one of those kind of semi-hidden deals where, you know, it's like, oh, hey, that's kind of cool, but... you know, is it some huge advantage? No, absolutely not. So, anyways, I am going to learn that just to show you guys that it is possible. And you know, I don't know, again, kind of interesting, I guess, but just again, not all that useful. We have to kill a Jorah. Hurry! Okay, so I don't know what's going on here. See, some sort of cloning thing going on, I guess. And here Jorah is going to summon some demons. So if you notice already, these are Ultima demons. They're fairly noticeable with their blue horns and bluish colored, what are these, glove/claw things. So that should, I wouldn't say tip you off as to you know, the fact that this is possible, but again, anyway, I found it interesting. And maybe one more kind of interesting thing about it is that it seems to me earlier on in the game, and it actually, this is true for Ramza actually as well. You know, early on in the game, there doesn't appear to be. I should say, okay, so I think once Chapter 4 starts, that kind of triggers Ramza's ability to learn Ultima, and I feel like that's the same case with Alma, because earlier on in the game, when you actually have her with you for that, you know, extremely short period of time there, and you can actually, if I remember correctly, you can, you know, you can take off her equipment, which, you know, she's got like a beret and stuff, and that's cool and everything. But the point I'm trying to make here is that if you look at her actual job and try to learn abilities, you won't see her ability to learn Ultima in there. And what I mean by that is, I believe anyway, at the beginning of Chapter 4, once Ramza actually is able to learn Ultima, I think there's like a blank or dashed lines at the bottom of his Squire screen. So that's almost like a hint, you know, to kind of tip you off that there's an ability there, you know, that obviously you can't learn it through normal means, but you can learn it obviously by having someone cast on you. Now, that being said, early on in the game when you first have Alma, that's not the case with her either. She doesn't have those dashed lines in her cleric job. Now, on the other hand, though, now we are obviously in Chapter 4 on, and again, this is the last battle in the game, but it's interesting because you can actually, if you go into her cleric screen there and look at her cleric job, there are the 4 dashed lines, which I think I will end up doing here. And here, you know, I don't know. Again, now, if you look at what I'm kind of doing here is I'm actually just removing Ultima or whatever. I think it's Ultima. Anyways, I'm removing her magic stat. And the reason why, I just didn't want her, you know, dealing much damage to my character. So, what am I doing? Oh, okay, I'm buffing up. Essentially, I'm just buffing up Alma here. I think she ends up eating it though, if I remember correctly. But I actually ended up doing this battle, I think twice. Yeah. So I don't know. I could be wrong on that. She could be just fine here. I guess we're going to find out. Now, so the other thing I want to mention is there's actually 2 forms of Ultima, and I believe this is the second form. If you notice there, it's got an incredibly wide area of effect. And I believe, like, technically in the game files, this is considered Ultima 2. Now, this one is not learnable from her or any of the characters, so keep that in mind. Again, I believe that the actual Ultima will be cast by one of these Ultima demons if they ever cast it here. Obviously, I've got them. Well, they're just slow. And then on top of that, all of my characters have haste, so it's looking like it's taking a little bit of time here to actually cast. Now I'm curious here if this guy is the one that casts it. I don't think he does though. No, he's okay. So this is a hurricane. I don't know what makes the enemies, essentially choose different attacks. Like if it's if enough of your characters are all clumped up together, they'll use Hurricane instead. That's my guess, but I guess we're gonna find out. Here it is. This is Ultima, I believe. So that demon or Ultima demon, whatever, is about to cast it. Now, one other interesting thing about this, and I'm not sure why this is the case, but there's actually kind of like two kind of phases, I guess, of this battle. And during the first phase, obviously, that's when I'm going to learn Ultima with Alma. Here we are. So here it is. Okay, so that right there, obviously you can see the blank lines there. That's where Ultima will go. And that's kind of your clue that she can actually learn it. But anyways, what I was saying here was there's almost like two phases to this battle. The first phase is where Alma will actually learn Ultima. And as far as I can tell, she won't actually use it, though. And so once phase 2 of the battle actually happens, I believe that's when she can actually use it. Now, again, that's just my experience. I'm not sure if that's indeed the case. In the long run, does it even really matter? No, absolutely not. But, all right, so here we are. And all Alma actually has to do is survive Ultima, obviously, in order to learn it here. And obviously she has to, have it actually cast on her. So here, after all our reaction abilities trigger, there, I don't know if you noticed, but the cursor actually moved to her. And that's just, basically whether or not she'll learn it. And she learns it automatically. So, normally, in the case of Ramza, you actually have to choose whether or not you want to learn it, but here the computer obviously just does it automatically for you. And then, okay, so all that being said, at the end of the day, though, you don't actually get to control Alma, so she will use Ultima once in a while, but again, in my experience, she wouldn't use it during this phase. I think I, waited, chose to wait a bunch of times just to see if she would actually use it. But she didn't seem to actually want to cast it until the next phase of the battle. And I don't know why that is. Maybe my characters were too close to Ultima itself. I don't know. It's anybody's guess as to why she wouldn't use it at this point. Now, obviously, she's casting Protect on herself, so I guess she's got other priorities. And that probably makes sense. I think... she's probably, the AI probably tells her to do, Protect on herself, make sure that she's got Re-Raise and, whatever else goes along with that. I think it's Protect and Shell, which technically she already had. I don't think Haste is on that list, but, I'm just wrecking Ultima's speed. I don't know if that actually carries over to the next phase of the battle, but that would be interesting if it did. So you could technically debuff her. During this part of the battle. Here's M Barrier. This is what I was talking. Yeah, so that is haste too. Okay. Yeah, wow, that's an insanely awesome spell. That'd be so good to get that. That's a shame. That's a really good spell all packed into one. So, haste, protect, shell, regeneration, and re-raise. So all of the fun stuff combined into one. So again, I think I'm going to I'll just keep debuffing Ultima here just for a little bit, and we'll see what Alma actually does. But if I remember correctly, she just wouldn't use Ultima. Now, I actually didn't check, and I don't actually remember right off the top of my head how much MP Ultima actually costs. No, she's got 150 though. That's a lot of MP left. I know Ultima's not 150 MP. So, again, not 100% sure why she didn't use that, but, you know, is it important? Probably not. I did notice, though, again, once the next phase of the battle actually starts, that she did, I believe she actually ended up casting it. So, we'll actually get some footage of that. Now, again, at the end of the day, does it really matter? No. I just wasted a ton of time just to essentially show you that you can learn it here. I just don't feel like it's, you know, there's any strategic advantage to having her learn that. There's just, I mean, I don't know. You kind of have to let the Ultima Demons live a little bit longer than you probably want. You'll end up taking a bit more damage in the process because of it. So, again, as far as any sort of strategic advantage for her learning it, I'm going to say no. But, again, it is kind of cool, I guess. And, again, this is actually the first time I've ever done it, so here we're just going to apparently try to kill her off, so. Yeah, but other than that, to be honest, Ultima is a little dangerous. I mean, she can be, anyway. If your party is a little... Oh, you can't actually hit her there. That's kind of cool. But yeah, she can be a little bit more difficult to kill off if... you know, depending on how leveled your characters are as well as your gear. But obviously I've you know, really put in some time here. So obviously very easy battle. So here Ultima says there, you're a descendant of the one that killed me before. Okay, wow, that's one heck of a coincidence. I mean, I don't know how many people are running around in the Final Fantasy Tactics universe, but that seems like a really huge coincidence. So, anyways, all right. So here's the second part of the battle. And this is what I was talking about with Alma actually being able to use Ultima. Now I think I wait here, or at least I'm hoping. Oh, what? Oh, maybe I don't. Okay. Well. Oh, here. Oh, okay. Let's see if she casts. Come on. You know you want to. Yeah, she's casting it. She's casting. She's even bombing Agrius. She has no... Yeah, look at there. So there she's... the AT list is... Got her listed as casting it. She doesn't care about Agrius's health, I guess. She's like, I got this new spell. I'm gonna use it. And again, now I don't know if it actually doesn't seem like Ultima's stats, like, you know, because I debuffed Ultima during the last battle. It doesn't seem like that carries over, and I don't know that it really would make sense. It's obviously a completely different form, so I guess we just, yeah, I'm waiting here just to I want to see her cast it. There you go. Do it! Do it! I figured, hey, you know what? We learned it. I want to see it. Well, she actually did a decent amount of damage there. That was okay. I mean, that's not fantastic, again, in comparison to my characters, but it's still cool, I guess. But, alright, so let's see. Is that a kill shot? Yeah, that's a kill shot. Alright. So that's the end of that. To be honest... I don't even know what abilities Ultima uses. He didn't live long enough, or she, or he, or whatever this thing is. Didn't live long enough to really showcase anything, but pretty cool death. Alright. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how we're surviving this, because it looks like that ship just disintegrated. Now I'll be honest, I don't remember the outcome here. This game is complete. The outcome for many of the other characters. I'm sure, you know, if you want to look into the fate of our companions here, you very well can do that. I believe that information is out there. But I will, I guess, speak a little bit about my take on the ending. Now, I think, again, that I'm sure there's an official, counting of the ending, which I have not looked into. But here it appears as though the people, Farlem, I think that's supposed to be amen. Farlem. Anyways, so Alma here, this is her tomb, which I find this is a little bit interesting. I wonder if this is close to where Belbane's is actually buried as well. Now, so here, I don't quite get it, though. Okay, so we're going to find out here in a second that Alma is not dead, and neither is Ramza. So trust me, that's not a huge spoiler. We're about to see that. But I'm not sure what they buried here. Maybe I want to take a stab and say it was that, almost like that cloned body that Saint Ajara had, but that doesn't really make sense either, because it kind of, morphed into some other weird looking life form thing. So again, I don't know how much that makes sense, but I want to point out a couple of things here. This person here, next to Olin, that sure appears to be what was her name, Balma Fula or something like that. And my initial impression was that Delita had killed her. Now it says, if you look in the Brave story, that she actually fell in love with Delita, and knowing that Delita was crossing the church, she pulls the knife on him. And it looks like, she's going to kill him, but it then does describe that she wasn't able to do it, in which case, again, I thought that she was killed by Delita, but that was not the case. So I don't know how much insight that really gives you to Delita's character. Not sure, but so Olin obviously sees that Ramza and Alma are still alive. He's alive. And now, technically, actually, Balmafula knows that too. Thank you, Ramza. So I think he's, basically saying thank you for, ending the plot of the collaborators, if you will, Vormov and crew. So since then, no one has caught sight of the two. Orland. So is Orlanderai? I don't know who that is. Did they misspell his name there? I'm not sure. Or maybe that's a descendant of Olin. Again, not 100% sure there. But all right, so where does one? The only thing certain is he is the true hero indeed. So the beginning of the game, kind of alludes to, the true hero of the story being unknown, essentially, and it was thought to be Delita that was the hero of the story, as he, kind of came from, obviously he was lowborn, if that's, I believe that's the term that they use here, and Delita obviously rising through the ranks, taking out essentially Goltana as well as Larg. Or being part of that, and kind of uniting the people. And it actually does say, I believe here, that the realm or the world was prosperous, or his kingdom, was prosperous during his reign. So I think the story here is that Delita obviously used some really, really questionable methods to kind of meet his goals, and I think that's the true story, or that's the true takeaway to this game, is that and I always find it interesting, because I would feel myself as more of a Ramza type of guy, where he obviously learns throughout the game, learns what's right and wrong, kind of learns how the world works, and but he has that justice component instilled in him, obviously from his father, and kind of goes about things in a different way. Whereas Delita is a little more kind of gray, as far as justice goes, and kind of again, really, his decisions are in question, I think. And you can argue whether or not his methods are, good or not. But and I think, again, the real takeaway here is whether or not the means justify the ends. And, obviously, so the realm was prosperous under his reign. Now, again, it's up to you whether or not you think that he was justified in his actions. But again, very, very interesting story. That's my takeaway to it. And there, here at the end, Olin kind of uncovers the truth here, and that's the sad part. He uncovers the truth, writes about it. The church finds out and burns him at the stake for heresy. So again, now obviously the church using its power to commit some pretty horrible things, which is what they do throughout the entire game. They wanted political gain and political power, and they used obviously inappropriate or immoral methods in order to achieve that. And I guess I would say while Delita does the same thing, his goal wasn't necessarily just for power, or that's again my takeaway from it. But that is kind of, I guess, how I saw things. And, again, it's really up to you, I think, whether or not you think Delita was a good guy or not. But, again, pretty interesting turn of events, I'd say. Now, boy, I've gone on for quite some time here during the credits, but there actually is one more scene here at the end, and I want to talk about it just a little bit before I let you go. We're actually going to see Delita bringing flowers to Ovelia at, what I assume is one of the places that they, I guess, spend time at. And you'll see, obviously, he's carrying the flowers. Whether or not he's actually genuine, I kind of feel like he actually is. I felt like, he used Ovelia, obviously, to come into power, but I felt like he felt a little kinship with her, as someone that was used. And, he wanted the shoe to be on the other foot and wanted to be, essentially he even proclaims it at some point in the game that he wants to be the one doing the using. And, again, whether or not you think that's real great or not, obviously I don't think so. I think that, he could have done things a little bit differently. And, especially in the case of Ovelia, I think that those two could have had a really positive relationship, but he wasn't entirely honest with her. And I think that if he had been, things may have turned out a little differently. Again, I'm not sure what she actually thinks she knows, or what was actually in her head as far as, like, did Delita kill Belmafula? Did he kill Olin or not? I don't know what she knows and what she doesn't. And, had she known the truth, would she felt a little bit differently about Delita? Maybe. But that's on Delita, to be honest. He had that option. He had that choice. And, he didn't have to be cold to her at certain points, but he was. And so here, again, there's a little scene at the end. And the one final thing I want to mention is that he does say, after. So anyways, Ovelia has a knife and essentially stabs him, not in a good, or doesn't kill him, obviously, but does wound him. And then he actually kills her. He takes the knife, pulls the knife out, and actually kills her. And, whether or not he actually meant to, or whether he was just shocked and that was his reaction, that's anybody's guess. But he does ask, he says, essentially to himself, Ramza, what did you get? And what I take from that is, hey, I did everything, or this was my goal. I achieved it essentially, but, what do I get, for it? Essentially now he doesn't have a queen. He's done some essentially super terrible things. He lost his sister in the process. Essentially now I'm all alone. I've got this, kingdom. And again, he does what seems like to be a good thing in that he unites the kingdom. And, it was prosperous during his reign. So that was the one good thing, I suppose, that you could say that he did. But unfortunately for him, now he's all alone, and he doesn't even have, I would say, his one true friend who would have been honest with him, which is Ramza. And, you know, essentially, I just assume that there's no contact between the two of them from that point on. So, and what does Ramza get? You know, that's a good question. Essentially nothing. He doesn't get credit for what he did. The church lied about him. They branded him as a heretic, but he fought for justice. And I guess what I would say, to answer his question, what did he get? Well, I guess I would assume that Ramza got some satisfaction knowing that he did the right thing. And, whether or not, Delita thinks that that's worthwhile or worth anything, I would think that Ramza does. I truly do. I think that, Ramza didn't need recognition for what he did. I think that, that sense of justice instilled in him was enough to kind of sustain him or, be okay with kind of how things turned out. Whereas, I think the question remains whether or not Delita thinks that. Now, he's all alone. He's obviously just killed Ovelia, the one person I would say that he probably actually indeed did love. Again, whether or not you think that's true or not, up to you. But anyways, that's my take on the ending, and I will leave you with that. So as always, I hope this guide was helpful, and hope you join me for more videos. Thanks for watching.